Hi, my name is Abdo, and this is my first high-end PC build guide. Today, I'm building my personal rig that will be used for gaming, streaming, and video editing. For this build, we will be using an Intel Core i7-8700K 6 cores 12 threads CPU. Keeping this notoriously hot CPU cool is the NZXT Kraken X72 360mm all-in-one liquid cooler. We will also use 32GB of T-Force Nighthawk RGB RAM 3200MHz, which is more than enough for our usage. A 1TB Samsung 970 EVO NVMe SSD for blazing fast storage. This will be the only storage used in this build since my mass storage is handled by another node on the network. For GPU, I'm using the Asus ROG STRIX RTX 2080 Overclocked Edition with its 2944 CUDA cores. It is the fastest available GPU and can run with any AAA title available today. These components will be mounted on the Asus ROG STRIX Z390E gaming motherboard for its ample features and compatibility. Powering this rig is a 750W RGB modular power supply from Thermaltake. I needed a case that can house all the components, have enough space for custom water cooling in the future, and also look good as a tower or a test bench. The choice was obvious. The Thermaltake Core P5 for its beautiful all-tempered glass side panels, huge space, and modular design. For this build we need a Phillips head screwdriver, anti-static gloves, a clean workspace, and that's it. Now on to the build. First, let's install the CPU onto the motherboard. I am using the motherboard box as an anti-static workspace. Note carefully the location of the golden triangle on the CPU socket and align it with the triangle on the CPU socket cover. Pull up the retention arm Position the CPU onto the socket gently. Do not apply any force at all. Give it a little wiggle to make sure it is correctly in place. Then pull back the retention arm, sliding the socket under the nut, and the plastic cover should pop right out. Now the CPU is in place. Now for RAM installation. This is a very simple process. Slide the tab out, place the RAM module matching the notch on the RAM with the notch on the board, and then press firmly until you hear a click and the RAM is now locked in place. I like to install the NVMe drive now as long as the motherboard is still accessible. So first, let's remove this heatsink, install the standoff, and then install the SSD. Now the AIO is installed. Please refer to the NZXT manual for installation guide. Now let's secure the motherboard with the 9 screws and the standoffs already built on the chassis. Now after spending some time connecting all the power connectors and some cable management, it's time for the final step, installing the GPU, the RTX 2080. I already installed the PCIe riser provided by the Thermaltake Core P5. Now, put back the screws already removed from the 2 slots and the build is done. A build is never complete until the PC posts. The build is done. This is Banshee.